Good, insert appropriate daytime tacticians. It's about to get all Helbrecht in here, because that's who I'm gonna be ranting about today. I haven't unlocked him yet in Tacticus, so what do I think he is like in the game? Come find out.
Helbrecht is one of the most generous Imperial heroes. When Stormlord Imhotep needed a helping hand, Helbrecht gave him one, and when he needed to leave the icy world of Octarius, he left his cape behind so that Golgorts would stay warm, earning himself much love and the nickname of that Helbrecht.
Helbrecht's active ability gives all friendly units within distance to a small boost to damage, and their melee attacks have an increased pierce ratio for this round and the next one, meaning it should affect your Overwatch after the next turn. Helbrecht then attacks an adjacent enemy if able. Helbrecht's passive gives him a +1 movement boost when there's an enemy Psyker in play, and he and all friendly units adjacent to him deal a lot of extra damage to Psykers, but only with their melee attacks. Helbrecht has a mobility of 3, a 6-hit power type melee attack, and a 3-hit bolter type range 2 attack, with a fairly high base damage for being a 6-hitter. Helbrecht has a reasonably high HP and armor and brings a weapon with a block item, and he can use an Iron Halo and a booster, a block booster, making him relatively tanky. Helbrecht has 2 traits, the Final Vengeance and Parry. Parry reduces the number of hits he takes from incoming multi-hit melee attacks by 1 to a minimum of 1. And Final Vengeance lets him carry out one last standard attack when he is defeated right before he dies, unless he is overkilled, in which case he just dies. And if Final Vengeance kills the final enemy or hero in the tournament arena or guild wars, this should count as victory even if Helbrecht was your last man standing, because technically he has died the final relevant enemy before he fell himself. Helbrecht might be decent against the Tervigon and the Hive Tyrant raid bosses, while Mortarion counts as a Psyker, as blah blah blah. Helbrecht might be... Osolte hon a ope przete. Helbrecht might be decent against the Tervigon and the Hive Tyrant raid bosses, and while Mortarion counts as a Psyker as well, he's also a hard counter to melee, so However, even if his passive is stronger than that of Calgar, it only buffing melee damage probably makes Calgar the better buffer even in those fights in which the passive applies. To be perfectly honest, when I started working on this video, I considered Helbrecht underwhelming, but now that I gave it some thought, well, he may be a bit situational, but he'll deal decent damage overall, making him a reasonably balanced hero. Not like some recent additions to the game. In conclusion, you probably shouldn't grind Helbrecht out from the campaign, but if you do get him from a requisition early in your Tacticus career, building him up may not be the worst choice you could make.
Boss, mind the time.
What? Has it been a minute already?
You asked me to remind you to water your herbs, remember?
Oh, right. Thanks, Alexa. So, well, as you heard, I gotta bail, so see you around, Tactician.